So we've got a service call here on a water leak. This is what I come up on. So as we come inside here, you're going to notice that this drain pan is full of water, and the water is actually overflowing down into the ductwork. When I came up on this unit, the drain trap was disconnected like I'm going to show you right now. And that is actually the problem. Look at this. We're trickling down. Okay? The reason why this is happening is because we're sucking air in through that. We don't have a proper trap. So notice. Okay, so notice something here. What we're gonna do, just give it a second for the trap to fill up, and then we will start draining. Now we are draining. So for whatever reason, someone disconnected the trap and the AC couldn't drain, and it was overflowing the drain pan. And what it was doing, because of where the actual drain pan is located in the evaporator, it's in the negative air section. So the when the drain trap is gone, it'll actually suck air in through the drain. The water actually creates a trap and helps it to drain properly. So now we just drained out our drain pan. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the thing apart because this is a new customer. I wanna make sure that drain pan is clear, but. Okay, so I got the drain taken care of. I went ahead and pulled the economizer section out, of course, which is disconnected. Not my doing. And gave the evaporator coil a rinse. Used a little degreaser on it, made sure everything was good. Flushed out the drain just to make sure everything's 100%. Turned the unit back on, and I noticed right away that inside the compressor section, it was frosting up at the fixed orifice metering device header going into the evaporator. You can't see it right now, but I can also tell that this compressor has been replaced. So I came over here, of course I rinsed the condenser coil also, and then came over here and noticed that there was oil buildup all around these pressure controls, and the flares need to be tightened up. And then if you look at the welds, they're just horrible welds. But what kind of struck me weird here is that these look like aftermarket pressure controls, and that they are. Then I started to look into it, and I realized that someone used a low pressure control on the liquid line. Okay, if you know anything about carriers typically have a loss of charge switch on the liquid line and then a high pressure switch on the discharge line. Well, someone put an actual low pressure control on the liquid line and then a high pressure control on the discharge line, but then look at that. It's disconnected because someone was having head pressure problems. This is gonna be fun. So anyways, I'm gonna at least top off the charge and get this unit running so I can submit some quotes to get this thing fixed right. We'll end up cutting out all that crap. Those stupid welded in pressure controls that they did. They did a horrible job welding those. So we'll cut those out, fix them, put the right controls back in there, and go from there.
Hey guys, so to recap, we had a service call on a bar AC that was leaking water down into the building. When I arrived, I walked up on the unit and I found that the actual P-trap for the drain line was partially disconnected and there was no water coming out of the trap. I went ahead and opened up the filter section of the AC and found that the filters were plugged up and the drain pan was so full of water it was actually overflowing down into the ductwork, and the ductwork was full of quite a bit of water. The reason why this was happening was because that trap was disconnected. I spoke with the manager and found out that she had previously been up a couple weeks earlier because of an issue, and she was going around to the ACs trying to figure out which one was not leaking, and it actually wasn't coming from this one. It was a water leak on another AC. She just didn't know the layout of her roof. So there was 2 ACs up there that the drain traps had been disconnected like this. For whatever reason, only the one I was there on that particular day was leaking down into the building. So that's how the drain trap got disconnected. So I went ahead and connected it back, and the unit drained out all the water and everything was fine. But I didn't stop there. I went ahead and pulled the filters out of the unit and found that the drain pan had a bunch of gunk stuck inside of it. So I cleaned the evaporator coil with a cleaner, and then went ahead and flushed the drain pan out properly, made sure there's nothing else left in the drain pan. Then I flushed out the drain completely and started to evaluate the rest of the unit. I found that the system was low on refrigerant, and I found a leak at the high pressure switch. On top of the leak at the high pressure switch, of which I showed you in the video, there was a really bad braze joint, but the switch was actually leaking out of mechanical fitting. I also found that someone had the wrong low pressure control. They had a actual low pressure control that's supposed to be installed on the suction line, installed on the liquid line. Okay, these particular Carrier units have a special pressure control on the liquid line. It's called a loss of charge switch. Essentially, it works like a low pressure control, but the pressure cut out and cut in is a little bit different. Okay. So regardless, we're going to go back in there. We're going to replace both of those, or at least we're going to propose to do so. Now, while I was topping off the charge, I noticed that the pressures just didn't seem right. Okay, and I actually have a theory that someone has charged this unit with an alternative refrigerant. Okay, and that would kind of explain why the high pressure control was disconnected. I have a feeling that there's some mixed refrigerants in here. More than likely 407C mixed with R22 and or some 410, who knows, okay? I've been finding messes at this particular restaurant as I've been taking it over from another company. So I'm gonna propose to the customer to fix this unit completely. This was just a perfect example as to why you want to look at the big picture. I could have went in there and just fixed the water leak issue, but I wouldn't have found the other issues, okay? And the last thing I want to say is thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch these videos. I'd really appreciate it if you like my videos, if you like my content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a thumbs up, and possibly leave me a comment down in the comment sections, okay? If you guys pay attention, there's some show notes attached to any one of my videos. It has all kinds of great links on how I use to optimize my videos, on my Patreon page, on my email address. If you guys have questions, you can email me. You can send me hate mail. You can send me topics that you want me to cover, whatever, okay? I really appreciate you guys actually taking the time to watch these, all right? Thank you very much.